Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I've made a career in finance and tutoring, and now my goal is in IT field. So today I'm going to talk about TypeScript. Why TypeScript? Just because it's gaining popularity among developers and appears in job postings quite frequently. In this presentation, we'll consider what TypeScript really is, what kind of opportunities it creates, what problems you can face working with it. Then I'll show you some statistics to prove its popularity, and at the end we'll take a look for its alternatives. So let's begin. Well, TypeScript is an open source programming language created by Microsoft. The most important difference between TypeScript and JavaScript is that they are two separate programming languages, though TypeScript is heavily based on JavaScript. It's a superset of JavaScript, meaning that all valid JavaScript code is also valid TypeScript code. TypeScript doesn't alter JavaScript, instead expanding it with lots of other features. Its most important feature is the possibility of static typing. That means that you can define a type of your variables, for example, numbers, strings, or Boolean types. TypeScript has also support for interfaces, enums, and other things that you don't find in JavaScript. In fact, TypeScript is based on .NET Harmony specification, so a lot of code looks and behaves similarly to .NET and other object-oriented programming languages. Let's consider its advantages. Type checking is definitely the biggest advantage of TypeScript. Its usage eliminates many randomly generated bugs that result from unreliable data types. Let's say one developer creates sum of two function and uses types to define that the function can only take two numbers. If another developer tries to provide a string to the function, TypeScript will return an error, whereas in JavaScript such an operation would be perfectly acceptable. So in JavaScript, you only find errors once you use the app, but in TypeScript, when a developer makes a mistake and enters unsupported input into the code, they'll be made aware of it before pushing the code to the repository. So TypeScript is also a time saver due to some of its features. Thanks to compile time type checking, the programmer can focus on the development of an application and don't waste time on searching and analyzing the resulting errors. In addition to displaying the errors at compile time, certain IDs, such as Visual Studio Code, will present the errors to the developer while they're typing the code. This makes correcting simple careless errors much quicker and easier. And because of type checking, we don't need to test whether our function arguments are being passed between each other correctly. And less tests means shorter time to develop new features and smaller code base. The next benefit of TypeScript is that it can increase the team performance. First of all, explicitly defined data structures and type annotation make it incomparably easier to understand the decisions made by the engineers who originally wrote the code. In fact, providing types is a kind of documenting code. This is often referred to as self-documenting code, meaning that one developer writes something and others know what it does and how, just by looking at it. Additionally, there is often quite a lot of things you'd like to refactor, but because they touch so many things and files, you're just too afraid of changing them. In TypeScript, such things can often be refactored with just one click of rename symbol command in your IDE. Another great advantage of TypeScript is that it mixes the old with the new in the best way possibility. You can use new features from E6, E7 and beyond, and the compiler will convert them to ES5 or whatever you specify. This allows your team to make use of new features that will be in the future of JavaScript without having to worry about compatibility. However, there are some drawbacks of TypeScript. One of the arguments against TypeScript is that it requires compilation, while JavaScript doesn't. But let's be honest, most of JavaScript applications these days require build step. Whether it's Gulp, Grunt, Webpack or Bubble, a build step is a necessity and nothing really prevents you from expanding it. Another problem is some additional difficulties in a setup stage. For example, what's the difference between a Next.js app and a Next.js app in TypeScript? In the second case, you need to make your Node.js server, Webpack, and just REST runner to work with TypeScript. Also, whenever you add some library like React, Redux, styled components, you also need to add type defs for it. But overall, statistics shows that many developers are taking advantage of TypeScript features. And according to the most recent Stack Overflow developers survey, TypeScript cracked the top 10 of the most popular technologies. And it is the third loved technology among developers. However, TypeScript isn't the only tool that brings types to JavaScript or front-end development in general. There are also others, and we'll now take a look at those. Flow is also a superset of JavaScript, but it isn't categorized as a separate language. Like TypeScript, Flow offers type annotation, and that's pretty much it. No additional syntax, everything is the same as in JavaScript. But this year, Facebook decided to move just one of its most popular projects from Flow to TypeScript. I believe this speaks for itself. Then, JSDoc. It's a living standard for documenting JavaScript code. It allows you to not only use text to write what each piece of code is doing, but also annotate types. But proper typing with JSDoc is difficult, and it requires a lot more code than TypeScript. There is also a number of languages that provide a strict type system and can be compiled to front-end code one way or another, like Kotlin, Rust, Go, Elm, and Reason. But TypeScript has one key advantage over them that makes it more suitable for front-end development. TypeScript is very easy to learn for current JavaScript developers, mainly because it's just augmented JavaScript. So, all things considered, TypeScript is a fantastic tool for JavaScript developers. It makes working on larger projects easier and provides a better code writing toolkit that can greatly improve your software development process. Thanks you and good coding!